on Tuesday, January 9th. I'd like to call to order the Westborough Economic Development Committee meeting. First thing on our agenda today is we have a couple of minutes that we need to approve for both November 7th and the 14th. That's when we had the double meetings that month. Did everybody have a chance to review the minutes and any comments, concerns? We good? All right. Anyone want to make a motion to accept them?
I move we approve the minutes for November 7th, 2023 and November 14th, 2023.
Any second?
Second.
All right, thank you. We'll have to do a roll call. So Alexander, yes?
Bagden, yes.
Bernardo, yes.
Varro, yes.
Gingras, yes.
Keo, yes.
Rayleigh, yes.
Awesome. All right, thank you all very much. Next on the agenda is the Small Business Recovery Program. Mark?
One second to get plugged in here. There we go. Oops, sorry, I made that go smaller. Sorry, folks. All right. Tim, for some reason the slides aren't coming up. I'm still seeing the Westborough TV.
Do you have to
Do I need to change
move to the podium?
Oh, there you go.
Thank you. I thought he could do that for me. All right, good morning, everyone. I wanted to come today and make sure that everyone is aware. I know we've talked about this program for probably the last year and a half, maybe longer than that, through our goals from 2022 and 2023. This is all part of our rapid recovery program coming out of the pandemic. Excited to have this program through the ARPA funds that the town of Westborough got. This money is to help out small businesses that were existing in the town that opened before January 1st, 2020. It's to show they had, were hurt during the pandemic. For this, I really look at this grant being for restaurants, small businesses. You can see there are some limitations. I put some flyers in front of you there. Fewer than 35 full-time employees and less than $1.5 million in revenue. So it does take the businesses down to a much smaller size where this money can really help. The nice thing about this money, as opposed to our other grant, is that there's no there's no restrictions on how you use the money. It can be used for rent, paying employees, just getting back on your feet from paying bills. And it's really, I've gotten some great responses from people on this program. So businesses are excited to have this option. When I'm out there talking to people that were open during the pandemic, they're excited to see this money's there. This program launched in the middle of December. I'd sent some stuff out. I know it was Christmas, so I assumed it kind of got lost in the shuffle. But I will resend another email today with everyone with this flyer that you have in front of you. The application, which is a very simple 4-page application, really not asking for a ton of information and digging. And then also just information about the grant, how you qualify, purpose and overview of the grant, so everyone can see all that information. The other thing is was set up. This was set up by Zach before I came in, but this was the rubric they set up. So if we do end up, we have 13 of these grants that we can award at $5,000. I'd love to make sure we award all these grants. It would be really great to get this money out there and into the community and helping out. But in case we do get more, or hopefully we get more grants, I guess, and if we do, we did create a rubric to help demonstrate how we can kind of signify so we don't run into the same problems that we had with our other grant program, where we have 20 applicants that we think are all great people, but we don't know how to rank them from top to bottom. This way you get some, you can see your percentage of loss during COVID. Are you physically located on the first floor? Are you located downtown? And then we also have a legacy category, so a business that opened December 31st, 2019 does qualify for this program, but assuming they wouldn't be able to show the same loss scenario that a company that was there before. So hopefully to make this a little more even. So really, I can go into more detail about this, and I'd be happy to. I was actually hoping, now that I've had a chance to settle in, to kind of meet with each one of you guys kind of one-to-one, go through this. I'm happy if there's someone that you know that you would like to have some more information about this, send them directly to me, send them information, connect me to them via email, whatever you guys want to do. But really sit down with you guys in the next week or two and kind of make sure you know what this program is, and we try and get this completed. I had put a deadline of February 28th to try and get the applications in. That was just to put some sort of urgency on it to get people going forward, and hopefully we get enough applications through that point. I'm happy to take any questions on this if anyone has anything for me.
Have you gotten any applications so far, thus far?
I have one application in so far from the Central House. The one thing that I am still working on is some of the documentation required is some tax documentation, and I'm actually going to be sitting down with Fred and Shop later on this week to discuss that, because some of the businesses have concerns of handing in their tax information, what's going to happen to it, the security behind it, who's controlling it at any point in time with their data, obviously, is the biggest concern. So we're going to sit down with her and hopefully, and maybe potentially legal, to figure out what we can actually require and what's going to happen with this information. I think some people are concerned about potentially their information becoming public record of some variety at that point. So we might have to look at that. But this program is out there, so that is our one hold up right now on it, I guess. But.
I just wanted to say that it's really important that we get folks to apply for this, because this is funded through ARPA, as Mark mentioned, and so that money has to be obligated by the end of the calendar year. So if there's potentially funds that will return back to the available balance, we would need to know that by midsummer. So just making sure that everyone understands sort of the urgency of getting this program out there. I'm sure that we have plenty of businesses that will use it as long as they're aware of it.
Mark, I know you sent this in December, but you're going to send another email.
I will. I have an email canned and ready to go right now that I will send out after the meeting, basically,
Yep.
with everything for you guys to be able to review. I was holding to be able to talk to you first. I didn't want to just send it cold and get questions back. I figured I'd get an opportunity to get in front of you quickly, and that still gives us plenty of time to get this information out. And like I said, if businesses need someone to come out and talk to them for 20 minutes and go through it, I'll walk through the program with them. And some people I've had actually Dan filled out the application while I was talking to him. He sat there and went through it. That's really how light of a lift. The paperwork side has been my holdup on the first two people that have come that close to fulfilling the process. Is they're concerned about the tax information and where it's going. So I just had to get some follow-up questions answered for that.
How is this marketed out to the businesses?
I'm hoping to. I've been using social media, so I put 5 or 6 posts out on my social media page. It's on the EDC the EDC page as well, web page as well. I'm going to be using the ambassadors. I'm going to ask the EDC to go out. I've worked with the fire department and all the local departments as well. When the fire department's gone out and had inspections and found problems in older businesses and that they have to go out and fix, they've then given me the name of that business. I've walked directly in and said, hey, I have some funds that might be able to help you repair some of your issues that are out there. Let's use some of this money to rectify some issues. So it's a combined effort of hopefully the Economic Development Committee and all the other departments that are out there dealing with businesses. Some of it's word of mouth. I also have some flyers I'm actually developing right now. I'm going to be talking to Fred later. I haven't quite got it finished, but flyers for the clerk's office as well as any other desk in town that would like to have one, the library potentially. So if someone has to reach me or has questions about the financial programs that we offer, this will be information the clerk can hand to anyone that comes in and really kind of put that information in people's hands as best we can.
Thinking about the survey for the women and minority businesses, would it make sense to have this translated into a couple different languages, particularly the ones that the business owners stated that
I'd
they're
have to
fluent in?
read into the survey a little further, but if I remember correctly from speaking with them, that actually Spanish and a few of the other, like the most common translated languages weren't the written languages of the community that we have here. So they actually had mentioned that the written language was one of the lower end concerns, that most of the business people were able to read and write in English. It was more just getting the information out to them, how the information gets there. Unfortunately, a lot of in the survey, I don't think there was a lot of direct answers to how we get that information to them. It was more we just need to get the information to them. So I guess some of it is getting out there more and just trying to, be out there more and have more ambassadors. I'll be talking next about the ambassador program. Peter, nice enough to join us today, as he's been a longtime ambassador, as well as I have 3 new people that are interested in becoming ambassadors potentially. So it's hopefully the more voices and people I get out there, that's the best. I think the best way we can do things. I put it in the newsletter, or the town manager's newsletter. So any publication that would let me put something out there, maybe I could speak to Dave and get something in Community Advocate as well. It might be something I hadn't thought of. So I will try to put it out there as best we can.
Yeah, I think the key is that we're trying to get at least 13 applicants, hopefully more. I mean, it should be, as with the grant program, our biggest stumbling block is get people to do paperwork. Mark, literally, as his predecessors, had to go out and fill out the paperwork for him, literally. And we're still willing to do that as a town, as much as we can to help people fill this thing out.
Yeah, I've been trying to go handhold and,
Yeah.
walk through the whole process with people as easy as I can, and, yes.
One of the things too is reach out to the past applicants.
Yep.
They're already in the game, right?
Yep,
And
that's
they've
it.
shown a need.
That's a great idea.
I got a few tenants in some of my buildings that I could put you in touch with, but you might also want to reach out to like the Colangelos. Ask
Yeah,
them to
they're aware of the
distribute
program
it
as
to
well.
their-
He's already talked
Great.
about it.
Yeah, they're aware of the
Grossman's,
program through one of their other businesses.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with them on
Great.
that, so.
Great.
So like I said, anyone that's willing to sit down with me for 10 minutes, I probably met in the last month probably with 17 or 18 businesses that I hadn't met before. So I'm out
Yeah.
there,
Great.
meeting people as fast as I can and trying to get this information and asking people to share that information with their neighbors when I talk to them. I said, if you know someone next door, the chamber is also aware of this, so I'll be working with the chamber to see, and go from there. And also, I've had some accountants mention to me if I needed to, they could potentially suggest some businesses to me from that. And so if I need names, I'll keep, pulling names. But like I said, I'd love to get these grants filled and money. It's great to give people money, I'm not gonna lie, and people like money. Let's be, it makes us look like a much nicer town. When people say that Westborough is business friendly, this is a definite way to show that we are, because if we can show that we have 20 or 30 businesses that we've given grants to and money to help get off the ground and expand, I think it's an awesome way to sell the town. When you tell them, a lot of towns don't have that as an option, so it's nice when I go other places to be able to have something like this in my back pocket. It's nice to be able to say, hey, there's money here if you're looking to expand or grow or show up here.
Sorry I'm late, guys.
Sorry.
Apologize for that. Quick question. Would my business be able to apply if I recuse myself from voting? Is that something?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Just wanted to ask that. Thanks.
Yeah,
I would encourage you to.
I would defer to the,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. That was on my list of questions actually at some point, because I assumed there'd be someone maybe potentially, I thought you were actually on my list of businesses that I thought might benefit from this, so.
Okay, any other questions for Mark? We'll help you get the word out, I think.
Yeah, I will get that out today, and like I said, I will also, just for everyone in the committee, after that, I'll send another email out, because I'd love to get on people's calendars and even get like a half hour, if it's a coffee or after work sometime, I want to hear what you guys want to see from this. I want to make sure you know about this and where our direction is for 2024, now that I've kind of got my feet a little more under me, from September when I landed. I feel like I could definitely, use you guys for your input and kind of drive us forward, and also, to go from there. So appreciate it.
All right, next on the agenda is the ambassador program.
It's me again.
Stay right up there.
All right. So the ambassador program, I know we've talked about it on and off for the last couple of years, and Peter has done a great job when asked to step in and get around town and get to businesses. But it's been Peter and Bonnie, I think, for the 3 years I've been around, and I don't know how active it's been, but right now I know I've had a couple new people come forward to me, thanks to Todd and also me kind of being out there asking to come forward and be ambassadors. So I found some paperwork that we had from before just to kind of break down what the ambassador's role is, and it's to educate businesses in town. Really, just like you guys, I can't get to every business in town. There's hundreds of businesses. You wouldn't believe how many businesses there are in town. It's actually great. I could spend all day on one section. I go into a building and I don't realize there's 30 businesses in that building. And if I wanted to meet all of them, I would literally never be in my office, and I'd be out just saying hi to people all day, I feel like. So it's great. The ambassadors need to be there so that I have another set of eyes, someone that owns a business or is in this town, another mouth that can be out there letting people know about this program, just like you guys do. The other thing they do, they're going to promote other programs such as the Business One Stop, which is a great thing. Our PACE, all our different, programs that we work with, we try to make, the nice thing about being on this committee is you do hear from planning and community development and the town manager directly. So for a committee, you guys get a lot of information that comes directly from good sources. And to be able to take that information and bring it out to the community and have another set of, 3 or 4 people when something comes up. Like we're going to begin a Wayfind program. We have some funds from also from ARPA to do some Wayfind signage for downtown. That's going to be a process that's going to involve, I'd like to involve some businesses. I'd like to see what kind of signs people want to see. I want to hear, before we do something, what people want to hear, so we don't do something and find out we missed some sector of whatever we're trying to get out there. So the ambassador program, and you guys will be vital at that point, I think, to go maybe out door to door. So I think this is what that program can really do for us. If we can find strategic reasons to use people to help with these programs. And then also identifying opportunities, because once again, I don't get to be every place. You guys hear who's coming in, you might know about a new business showing up, to be able to talk to them, let them know to reach out to me. And I think once I get these pamphlets built, I'll make sure you guys have one so that you could hand them to someone or be able to email this information out really easily to get someone in contact with me. So I don't know if anyone has, I just wanted to give an update that we have some people interested in this and that we're going to move forward with it. And I'll just show you, this was some of the duties and responsibilities: to attend the meetings, to outreach for projects, to assist, represented events and ribbon cuttings. So it can be, I would imagine, in reality, I would think that as board members right now, you give probably your hour and a half to this meeting, and then maybe another hour in the course of the month, maybe talking to people, maybe more. So I would assume it'd be somewhere in that same range, maybe an hour or two a month. Some months I might ask for an additional hour or two if someone wanted to come out and potentially kind of canvas with me if we hit a mall, or they wanted to introduce me to businesses they know. That would be fantastic. Sometimes that leg in is what I need, so. Does anyone have any questions on this?
No, I think this is great. This is a goal that we've had for a while, and I think, in years past, we've had a very strong ambassador program, and it'd be great to get it back to that point again, so.
Yeah, because like I said, you never know where opportunities are coming into town, and these people that hear things can bring that forward, and it really helps, with our Business One Stops and everything that we do. I think there's a lot that the town offers that, once again, no matter how many different ways you put it out, internet, Facebook, web pages, sometimes it's hard to get to people. You can put it everywhere and someone's going to tell you, I didn't see it. I think it's still at the end of the day, so.
And thank you to Peter Allen for being an ambassador, I think, since the program began. And
Been happy to do it.
continue
Lester
to do it.
Hensley drafted me. And
Good
I
draft.
just wanted to do more, and now I hope to be asked to do more.
Yes,
Thank
that's
you.
the
We
plan here,
appreciate
so.
that. Thank you.
So.
Mark, I have a quick question.
Yes.
So you said you have a few candidates. Are
Yes.
you still recruiting? Or?
I'm always happy to recruit
Okay.
because we also have an open seat on this committee right now as well. So that's something else we want to consider. If someone knows someone that truly wants to step into one of the roles, or do we allow this maybe to go on for another 3 or 4 months and see if any of these ambassadors would like to step forward to a bigger role, or if someone has a business or resident of Westborough that would like to fill this seat that was left by when I moved into this spot. Once again, that's a thought that, I'm happy to entertain with anyone.
My personal feeling is I'm not in any rush to fill the seat. I'd like to see if we can get the ambassador program up and going. And I know we had met with the select board last year about further, future recruitment to the EDC and more involvement from us, as well as almost having it not a requirement, but kind of like a requirement where somebody, if you've been an ambassador, there's kind of more weight put towards that in consideration for you to become a full board member. So unless others feel differently, I don't see the need to fill the seat right away.
Yeah, my biggest concern would be to make sure that everyone kind of here agrees that as long as we stay on that first Tuesday schedule, that we get enough people for quorum. I think I would have no problem with that. Obviously, I would want to make sure we have enough people here to do the business of what we have to do.
I mean, unless we have a strong candidate that comes forward and says.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Christie, there was a question at the beginning of the meeting that if it's a hybrid meeting, do we need to have an in-person quorum here, or
If it's hybrid.
if it's hybrid and advertised as a hybrid meeting?
I'm glad you stumbled on that one too.
It used to be that you had to have an in-person quorum.
Yep.
I know the chair has to be in person. I'd have to double check.
All right,
Because you used to be allowed to participate remotely, and you had to have an in-person quorum. I don't know under this COVID, the open meeting hybrid, if you have to have it in person or not. I'll have to double check.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so I will
Mark,
keep, yes.
So you have 3 candidates. I don't know if they're interested in talking to members of the committee, if we could help support your efforts.
Yeah, I
with
will,
these
I mean,
candidates,
yeah, I
or-
just started, literally, it's kind of, it's 2 of them are preliminary conversations that they had interest, and I'm just sitting down with them for the first time. But one, I'd be happy, one can't attend meetings, that's one of the problems. He has a prior engagement, but would be able to watch the committee meetings after the fact and be able to help out. So he wouldn't be an ideal candidate, obviously, to be on the panel, because he has a B&I group that meets at this time on Tuesday morning. But he was interested in participating. So, but be more than happy to go out soliciting, going out with me door to door, he said. So that was exciting. But I'll definitely mention to him as I talk if they'd like to come in. But obviously, my next mission would be to have these people at our February meeting. I invite everyone to come whenever they'd like to come. So I may have them come to the February meeting and see how it kind of goes, and if they're really interested in coming back, and I think the biggest thing is just to kind of give people a mission. I think to say you're an ambassador is one thing without having, something that we're going to do. And like I said, I think the wayfinding program is something that's right out there. I think this grant program is a great opportunity. So there's a couple places immediately we can step in. There might be lulls in the process as well, where there'll be summers where it might be a little quieter for the ambassador program. So
I think Sean has a good point about having them come here to the meeting.
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, even just talking to us, and I think, certainly, if you have interested candidates and for some reason this time doesn't work for them to come, but they are really interested in getting involved, I'd hate to turn down anybody.
Yep, no, I'll mention to everyone if they'd like to meet with members and see if I can't connect you
Yeah.
guys once I get a solid commitment they actually want to do it. Not that I don't want to put anyone's name out there, but I don't want to have anyone feeling the
Also willing
undue
to
pressure.
apply some pressure.
Yeah, if we need to get to that point, we'll put some elbows on people if we need to.
All right, great.
Okay.
I did get a text from Bonnie, ironically enough, saying that she's trying to connect, but,
Sorry, I'm on there. Let me, it might be that I'm controlling the Zoom. Let me see. Nope, Bonnie's not in the room, so
okay.
I don't know what happened there. Sorry, I'll keep an eye on it.
Let me just text her back that, all right, do you want to start on the EDC awards breakfast?
Yeah, all right, I'll move to my next one, and we're gonna go over there. Let's see here. So we're coming into the EDC award season, guys. I know we talk about this in November and December every year, that we're not gonna be here in January and February doing this, but here we are. I'm still putting together categories. So some of this was I was just trying to put together categories of what we had used in the past, some things that made sense for this year, because as we've talked in the past, we don't want to have a foodie category just for the sake of having a foodie category, because it just, then we're picking a place just for the sake of having a restaurant on the list. We allowed ourselves the ability to swap from category to category. So really, I would like in the next meeting to do some voting on like a new development, a small business, a downtown business, something like those 3 awards, to get those finalized. I'm happy to hear names from you guys today, or people can email me directly with any suggestions. But my main mission today would be to come out of here. The Hall of Fame and the Civic Award have been 2 things that have been voted on online. So if we were to make sure that, I just put some suggestions down of businesses that I thought would fit within our category. I went through our award winners. To anyone that got a grant from us, I looked at their business, see if they fit in any of the categories, to try and show that what we do here helps businesses, which is really great. And by the way, actually, I looked at all the grants, and I think from the last 5 years of grants, I think only 2 of the businesses have not survived. So I mean, as far as numbers go, it's a really positive number when you see the businesses' names on there. They're still in town and they're still operating. So it's good news as far as that goes. So I mean, like I said, if anyone has a suggestion for if they don't like a category, these are kind of open-ended. I just need to start the conversation. Just to get the ball rolling on this. I'm happy to take more names for businesses. I'm happy to take any suggestions for a different category if someone has something I might have missed. So please, happy to open that up if anyone has anything.
So in sort of our target to finalize this list would be, I mean, certainly for Civic Pride and the Hall of Fame would be next month's meeting to be able to deliver a list that could be posted online for a vote.
Yeah, well, I'd like to get that all together, so because, like I said, I know Westborough TV would like as much time as possible to help put their videos together. So I would like to be able to hand them everything by, say, mid-February, so I could say, here's our 5 award winners. So maybe I could do the online voting in the next month or so and try and line it up so if our meeting is February.
Let's be a little more succinct, if I may. We need to have a vote by February if we're going to keep going with like a March type award. Otherwise, timing-wise, we'll never get it together.
Would that even give Westborough TV enough time to do the videos?
We're looking towards the end of April right now is where we had the last couple of years, and
It does take a while, so if we don't, as a committee, this is where we usually stall from year to year, is putting it together. So we really should have something firm for a February vote, because you don't want to go into March to vote. We'll never get everything together. The online stuff, obviously, Mark can put it online.
So that's why I was
After the
hoping
vote.
today to have those
I
kind of
think-
nailed, and then if we had a list for the next meeting, we could even vote on categories, unless someone has a category they feel so, strong for, that I'm happy to take a new name and we could do a vote today, obviously.
A quick question. I love Hygge House, but they're a pop-up, so they're ending in March.
Yep, I know. So like I said, I was trying to just, like I said, as I was kind of brainstorming, I was hoping that, come into this meeting, I'd hear some more suggestions, obviously outside of my own. 'Cause I try and dig for stuff, but it's, and like I said,
I think, if I may, I think we really, if the committee has names they'd like to bring forward, we should do that the next week or so.
Okay.
So we, Mark can send out maybe a list before the February meeting. Certainly, we oscillate on the award types from year to year, so the Hall of Fame and the Civic Pride is something that's been added in the last couple of years, which seems to be great. There seems to be a lot of positive feedback from having that online voting.
the businesses like that, they did. I've seen the positive on the businesses
Can you
side.
clarify the online voting?
I
angle?
believe Zach did a Google document that he would set up through Facebook and say, they could then ask everyone to share, give it to the, to the businesses that were nominated and allow them, he would do his advertising, and then a lot of it was, those businesses would do a lot of kind of free promotion to get themselves the award, kind of, that was the concept behind it.
Kind of like the T&G thing. So
The best of.
Yeah, the best.
Yeah,
right.
best of, right. Yeah, we're the best, vote for us, and I guess that's,
Right.
but, it's another way to get people to share your content and get that information out.
It could be a popularity contest, but it seemed to go pretty good. We've had some pretty good businesses to qualify for that.
It's a nice way to bridge with the public, too.
Right.
Let us know we're out there, and it gets our name out there, and it's advertising for us, and, it's very positive.
One last thing, are there businesses on there that have received an award before, or is that?
No, no one on there has received an award
Actually,
before.
Amazon has.
Amazon did for the robotics facility, I guess, but, I would assume that the same-day pickup and the robotics facility are, and even though they're under the same name technically, are two different businesses. And giant tax-paying businesses in the town, shall we just mention.
It'd be good to get a couple of businesses up on that. All of them, actually. be
Yeah,
good.
are we, I know, remember last year we talked about reviewing all of the grant applications to make sure we weren't missing people, and I don't know if there was a review of, like other, maybe planning board, applications, just to make sure we weren't missing folks. Like Coffee and Pie, I know has been around for a few years, so I
They
guess.
opened last December.
Yeah, that was it was a completely different business owner.
Yeah, it had been a different business, but
Okay.
the current owners of that business opened in December. of
Actually, the model changed, so the previous one was Parcel and Perk.
Right.
Okay,
which
Same
is more-
concept
so the-
business.
so I guess,
actually,
it just seems
much
like
better.
we might be missing
Yeah.
folks, so.
Yeah, I
don't
tried
know
to
if-
go
if
through the best
reviewing those.
I went through the grants, I went through everything I could think of, I would drive around, like, I live here, drive around, so I see everything. I've been to a lot of the ribbon cuttings over the last year or so. Once again, I don't say I know everything that goes on in
Yeah.
town, far from that.
I mean, that's a good point, maybe just checking with the chamber and just to make sure it's exhaustive. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe these are it, but. it
Well,
just
like I
seems
said, I'm
small.
happy if someone wants to yell out names today. I'd be happy to add them to the list, and then we can, before we come to the next meeting, we could have then just, you could kind of come in maybe knowing where you'd like to place your vote, and we could make this just to mention also in the next meeting, not that I'm trying to move this forward, but in the next meeting, we'll also have our grant review for the quarterly grant program will be next month as well. So we'll have, probably at least 5 recipients potentially in front of us. So this is going to be, that will take some time, and then this will also take some time. So we want to make sure we try and make this as smooth as possible, I would think.
I think Mark was still looking for a member or two to maybe help him out on this too.
If anyone's happy to, I'm happy to work with whoever has suggestions or wants to help me with this.
How was the voting done last year? Was it on Facebook or?
We did the Hall of Fame and the Civic Pride, where I believe it was a Google Doc, which he shared on Facebook, which then they could share out however they wanted to from there. And then the other voting was obviously by us, the committee itself.
So I just sent you, I just Googled it,
Yeah.
and Twitter,
Yeah.
now X. Yeah. Every time you read something, they say X, formerly Twitter. They have a way to do polls.
Voting?
I just took a look and I
Yeah,
I
Facebook
emailed
has
it to you.
polling, yeah, and I'm happy to try. We don't have an economic development Twitter account or X account at this time. Maybe it's something I should consider having. I just one more social media channel to manage, but that's
Can we do that?
I think we did at one point, so,
Owen might know about that or no?
no. Probably Mark.
Okay. Well,
we can dig into it. I mean, I'm fine to use any. I'll add more social media channels. It's yeah. It's just a matter. I think there's software so I can do it all in one place. So it's not a matter of posting 15 times. I can, if I have multiple channels, I can.
So I don't have any specific businesses to add to the list, but I think reviewing planning board agendas over the last year and a half, I think checking with the chamber to make sure we're not missing anyone, and then related to civic pride, maybe checking with the schools to see who's coming out in support of the community,
Sure.
could be helpful.
Yeah, a lot of those I came up with just off of, like I said, whenever I
Yeah,
go to
that's
anything,
fine,
those
but
are the
I'm just
names that. Yeah,
recommending
I'm
different
happy for any
ways.
more names.
2 quick things. One, I assume you checked with the directory, you looked through the directory and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to,
Yeah.
best I
All
can
right.
to.
And then Karen just emailed me or
Yeah.
texted and said she's watching the meeting. She said if you have most awardees at your February meeting and then the two vote on awardees revealed at your March meeting, we will be fine to get videos done by the end of April.
She's the best.
She is good. Thank you, Karen.
Very nice.
And she be nominated.
Yeah, Westborough TV.
And I'm trying to remember, historically, do we usually have 6 categories?
We
More or less.
bounce between 5 and 6.
5 and 6.
Yeah,
Okay.
I looked at the back years. Some years we do 5, some years we've done 6. It's a,
There's no magic number.
Got it.
We can do more if
the idea was if we
committee
have,
desires,
Was Planet Fitness last year, or was that, I know there's not really a
or,
category
no,
that
actually,
they fall into.
I don't think we did Planet Fitness.
well, I didn't hear that, I'm sorry.
Planet Fitness.
Oh,
You
no, I
mentioned
didn't,
Planet
no,
Fitness.
that's something,
I'd have to look, that might.
They opened last
They've
year.
Probably been open for a
They
good
don't
It
really
was- the
fall
ribbon
into
cutting
one
was
of those
last year.
categories,
Yeah.
but it is, I'm trying to think of other things that, just surprised we don't have any additional new development, just those 2 projects.
Well, that may be, Planet Fitness is probably not a bad,
Yeah.
bad thought.
Way back, what's way back?
it's still a,
It'll be 2026.
yeah. It's a work in progress.
If you really want to know about way back, I can speak to it, but they're plodding along, let me put it that way. I don't think I have a firm date for them. We're still working on some paperwork issues, but they have begun construction. There wouldn't be anything up there yet,
No, I don't think so yet.
next year. Anyway, I don't know that we have to belabor the point, but it's out there. If the committee members have any names to get specifically to Mark.
Yeah, so anyway, again, I'm gonna be bombarding you with emails over the next 24 hours, so unfortunately, I'm very sorry about that, but I'm gonna, giving you guys a lot of information. I ask that when you respond to me, you respond to me directly and not the group, because we've gotta keep the conversations between me and you, so we don't cause it to be a group discussion. So if anyone has any suggestions on candidates or businesses I might have missed, bigger businesses, I know there are some larger businesses on the other side of Flanders that I probably don't know about being new to my position, so maybe that's something that I could speak with Jenny and Fred, that things that might have dealt with this for innovation or things like that are doing some of the biotech stuff that, I might not be necessarily aware of, so there might be something that we could also add to the pile, so, if we need a 6th category. We did innovation in the past, I know, has been a steady award, so I'm sure there's someone over there, and I could also talk to Rob Schaefer, who was on the committee before. He had mentioned he's always sending me the interesting companies in town that he's touring, so when he's out there.
Mark, could you send this out? to the
Yep.
committee? That'd be great. Just
I'll
as a
send that out in the
reminder.
email today and ask you guys to respond. That I don't have ready, so that will be later on this afternoon. All right.
All right, any further questions, comments? If we can all take a look at this and try and get some ideas to Mark before the next meeting. And then it looks like, for Karen's text, if we vote at the next meeting, then we should be good to go.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, folks.
Oh, 1 second. So I see here you also mentioned like location and speakers. Is there other
Oh,
further
yeah, just to
updates?
give you, right now, I am working with the Secretary of Economic Development's aides right now to nail down her schedule for the end of April. For backups, I've also reached out to the governor's and lieutenant governor's office to see if anyone else might be available to come. So that's where I'm at right now. I guess we're on the agenda for the next staff meeting for the secretary's schedule, and if we fit within her schedule, which is why we don't have a date necessarily nailed down. And then as far as location, I've been working with Fred to discuss that the Great Hall is a beautiful venue for this, but it does limit the amount of people that can come in at, I think, 125. So it does limit the businesses that you're able to open it up to. By the time you invite the award winners and 4 or 5 guests, and then the EDC and the town folk and the town employees, you're at 70, 75 people. So now you're looking at only being able to invite about 50 businesses, 50 people from those businesses, which I don't think that makes, I'd like to see it be a larger event, but these are you know, obviously if we do that, we have to find funding for a larger venue and that side of things. So there's a double-sided coin on all this that we have to kind of nail down some of the final details on. But I think the Great Hall is a fine location for this if we end up there, and economically, I think obviously it's the most inexpensive way we can do it for the town as well, which I think is also
What's the target
important.
number you think it would be ideal?
In that hall, I believe is 125 is the number that hall can.
But if it was somewhere else that was.
That number, I guess I would think maybe 175 people. I don't know, because I'd like to open it up to. I'd love to be able to send an invitation out to almost everyone and see. You know, I know once again you do that, and just like everything else, you don't get everyone to come. You'd probably get still 20 or 25 people to show up.
We don't know what the hotel attendance used to be.
I wouldn't know for certain. I hadn't attended any of those events, so I'd have to dig through the information on that. Maybe, was anyone else at any of the hotel ones?
Yeah,
That
no,
could-
they were good.
I would say 150 to 200 people.
So that's why I said
one
175 as a,
We've looked at, and Mark may reach out to them, is Westborough,
yeah.
which is out on Oak Street. Location wouldn't be horrible. They may be willing to work with us. That's something we'd still bring food in, because it's not, they don't cater per se, so, you know, we can look at that. I'm sorry?
What is it?
Westborough?
It's next to the Westborough tennis.
Used to be where the daycare was, next to Westborough Tennis.
The
So
JCC.
it's- I mean, that could accommodate quite a few more people. It wouldn't be to the expense of that DoubleTree was.
And they all-
DoubleTree just got to be quite a task to fund.
Yeah.
So
It was-
Worcester may be an option.
It was the audio video equipment at the DoubleTree that was really the biggest hurdle. Is it wasn't renting the room itself. The room itself wasn't actually that bad. It was, they would charge an absorbent amount of money for the speakers and the projecting screen, which User Events does have all that in-house, so we'd be able to move in there with screens and be able to use their equipment without having to rent additional equipment.
Okay.
All set?
Any other comments, questions?
Thanks, Mark.
All right, thank
All
you.
right, you guys will be hearing from me today. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the Planning Department report. Jenny?
So one of the biggest items we'll be working on is we hired RKG Associates to help us with our downtown development plan. So we had received a grant through the state, through the One Stop for Growth program. Someone say they can't hear me. Sorry. Through the One Stop for Growth program to fund this consultant. And essentially, the end result would be a report that looks at the economics of downtown, transportation, land use, and so hopefully out of that, we'll get some recommendations for zoning, design guidelines, and then also looking at the traffic patterns. So this week, I'll have a kickoff meeting with the consultant just to discuss logistics and next steps, and I'm sure that they'll want to meet with this committee at some point.
Great, that's great.
Yeah, so it's really exciting. Coming up for the planning board applications, tonight we have the special permit application for the community center. That's really the only new one tonight. Everything else is continued. With design review board, we're still looking at the design guidelines for the signage that they discussed at I think it was the last meeting with this committee. So we're taking a look at that and just discussing what can be revised. For town meeting, we have the MBTA housing zoning article coming up. So we're just making some finishing touches on that, but all the information is available on the planning department website. So you can take a look at it there, including the zoning map. And that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions for Jenny?
I have a question. I heard, fourth hand that maybe the BJ site, they're looking at maybe going with retail with that versus, has anyone approached the town about that, or can?
I have not heard
Yeah.
anything, so no. Not even fourth hand.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything.
Jenny, quick question. The special permit application for the community center tonight, can you remind us quickly what that is, or remind me?
Yeah, sure. So they did an A&R, which is essentially just splitting off the lot that would house the building for the community center. And because Bay State Commons had an existing special permit under the downtown overlay district, they need to come back and modify that because of the arrangement of the lot. Yeah. Nothing exterior will be changing. It's really logistics because of the special permit and then the use.
Anything else for Jenny? All right, thank you. Next is the Community Development Department report. Fred?
Sure, I'm happy to report that there is movement on some things, so that's good. I've been gloom and doom the last few meetings. In no particular order, we have gotten a fit up for 54 Otis Street. It's an Amazon facility. I don't know that it actually has a name. If you go online, you can see the plan, so it's not like it's a secret anymore. The fit up it's basically an R&D facility. So much like the robotics facility, it's another outstanding Amazon project. It's not a distribution center, thank goodness. The distribution center should be open and running by now. I think I mentioned that last meeting, but this Amazon facility will be kind of a hand in glove type thing, I think, with the 50 Otis Street. So it's kind of exciting. Again, if you go online, you can see the plans. I'm not giving away secrets here, but they have a mock store as part of the front end of this thing. And then the rest of the facility is designed around shops to support that, to make stuff, to figure out how to do their shops, I guess. I can't really tell you more than that, but that's going by the review of their plans. So that's exciting news. 1 Oak Street, good to hear that Dollar Tree is going in. Again, not talking secrets because they've applied for a permit. It's a retail facility. We have another Dollar Tree in town. So they're going in where Crush used to be, on the back end of that. Crunch, sorry.
Crunch Fitness, yeah.
Crunch. My apologies to
No problem.
Crunch.
You can have a crush on them if you want.
That's a good utilization of that space. It's been vacant for quite some time, so it's good to see somebody going forward on that. And then Colangelo started their first steps towards their project. Again, it's not secret, so they had gone to the Zoning Board of Appeals for the first steps towards changes they're looking to do on Lyman Street. They're looking to consolidate those lots and to build commercial space with residential components above it, with the old home quarters, home sense, whatever it was called, home something.
Home Goods.
Home Goods, thank you. So that's taken its first steps forward on that project. They'll be going to planning board next. It seems to be that they're still working on the plan, so they don't anticipate going to planning for another 2 or 3 months. They anticipated, but anyway, the zoning board approved their special permit last night.
So I have a question.
Sure.
Is there still a SOAR moratorium in effect for residential?
We're still working on a town to figure out that question. We don't really have a true moratorium, if you will. We're still working through that whole process. So to answer your question directly, I don't have a direct answer, but we're still going through the process as a town, if that makes any sense. It's a case by case right now. We're looking at each case, how they're allowed to hook up the sewer or not.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'll address that other 14th rumor. I have not heard anything about the BJ site. The only information I can say on that is they're looking to mothball it at this point in time. So there's no movement from Samuels, the owner of that property.
And across the road, Amazon is still doing...
4400?
Yeah.
No word on 4400, no word on Freiburg. They haven't approached us, or, well, I apologize. They haven't approached the community development, so I don't think they've approached Jenny either, so I don't know that they've approached anybody in town specifically.
Yeah, I think Freiburg is just, they took over State Street's data center, you know, as a vendor. I mean, I mentioned before, a lot of people who are wired into Amazon knew nothing about that until we read about it.
Yeah, they're kind of they're very secretive if you haven't figured that out already. So they're not forthcoming with a lot of information, even to us. So it's not, it is what it is. I've learned to kind of accept that with Amazon. I wish I could give you more information, but
I have a quick question about a former business that got a grant, Lionsgate. Did they close down? Do you know?
Yes.
They did?
They did. It was kind of, I don't know what the reason behind it was, but
Yeah.
it was like a middle of the night kind of thing that appeared. So she was just, one day they were having a 1-year anniversary, and the next day they were just gone. They were one of the 2 grant recipients that have since disappeared from the scene.
Any other questions for Fred? Okay, if not, other business. I've got some other business regarding the next meeting, which hopefully, I can't attend, I can't physically be here at the next meeting, and it sounds like I can't vote then if that's the case, right?
So I looked it up. So
Okay.
it says that the open meeting law's requirement that a quorum be and chair be physically present remains suspended. So you don't have to, you can be not here.
Oh, I
You don't
can.
have to have a
Okay,
physical
so I can do it
presence.
remotely? Okay, great.
Great.
Then I will be remote for our
All
next
right, well,
meeting.
I'll let Sandy know, and
Yeah.
I'll get to her beforehand so she's able to.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Navigate.
do we need a quorum in person? I'm sorry.
No, it says that you don't right now through March of 25. What the
Yeah,
select board
for a
has
week
done
and a half.
though is had the chair physically present. If members of the board are physically present, they've delegated, even if the chair is on
Yeah.
remotely,
and
that they
why don't we
delegate
do
it.
that with Sandy?
Yeah.
Yeah, delegate to
I'll,
her.
I'll
and
work
then-
with her to make sure she's,
Yeah.
because I don't think she's been here for too many of the nominations. She definitely work with.
You'll be without a home. All right, anything else for other business?
Yeah, I do. So one other thing, once again, I told you I was going to be sending out a lot of emails. The other one I will be sending out to you is the Woman Minority-Owned Business Study. The last chance for comments will be February. We have to have those into the UMass team by February 5th. I've gotten 1 or 2 people have written back to me, but I will send those notes out again and ask that if you have any comments that you send them directly to me. I will coordinate those notes together and get them to the UMass team for our final presentation, which hopefully should come to Fred and I sometime at the end of February, unless that gets pushed out a week or 2, but I think we're just about on schedule for that. Outside of that, things that are going on outside of this room right here, the 495 Chamber is having a ribbon cutting on the 17th. The storage company, it's Mark's Moving. I guess he has broken his business into 2 pieces, so he has a moving company and a separate storage company. So the storage room will be opening at that location. I don't know the number of Milk Street, but where Mark's Moving is right before the bridge there on Milk Street. There'll be a ribbon cutting on the 17th. I will send out information to the whole group on that as well as we get closer, if anyone can attend. It's really nice to see the more people there. And then today I'll be attending after this on Zoom. Mass Econ is having the 2024 annual economic outlook for the state of Massachusetts. So that is today at 10 o'clock. If anyone is free, they're welcome. I can send them the Zoom link, and they're happy to watch along with me or with everyone. Or if not, I'll report back. If anything comes out of these meetings, I'll report back. The one other thing, once again, very early in the program, but the Colangelo project there's a chance to be able to work with the PACE program in that as well. So as that project moves forward, the PACE program, which is a loan program through the state, I think only one other city has successfully implemented one of these loans. So if it's something we were able to get involved in, sorry, I thought someone had a question. If it's something we're able to get involved in, I think it's a good thing for the project. It's a good thing for the town, and it's using the resources the state is putting out there for us in a positive way. So
That's great. Excellent.
I think that's it from me. So like I said, you'll see a bunch of emails from me. I apologize. I'll try and space them out so I don't kill you all at once. And please respond to me individually, not to the group. Thank you.
All right, anything else? If not, anyone want to make a motion to close the
Motion to adjourn?
second?
I second that.
All right, Alexander, yes?
Bagden, yes?
Kenny, yes?
Bernardo, yes.
Varel, yes.
Jingles, yes?
Keo, yes.
Williams, yes.
Really, yes.
Great. Thank you all very much. We'll see you in the next month, if not sooner.
Thank you.
Used to be tenant approved.